Welcome back to the channel, guys. You guys are always asking about 2020 models. Here's a 2020. This is VIN 3076. It is a 2020 1J2, which is liquid platinum. So that is just straight silver with LA20 black interior. So this just popped up at Mannheim, Dallas. So that is a dealer only auction, 33,000 miles, and it just sold yesterday, June 10th, 2026, for $63,000 plus fees. And honestly, in this market, the way things have been going, that's pretty low. And so that makes me believe that somebody got a pretty good deal. If it doesn't need a whole lot for reconditioning and everything, they're gonna probably make a pretty decent profit on this car. Fun fact about this car, this is the first 2020 liquid platinum that has been listed since 2023. And it was this car that was listed in 2023. So I had to go further back to 2021, and it was this car again. So prior to 2021, there's only been one other one listed publicly for sale. Otherwise, they're all still with their original owners. So this car, it's changed hands a few times, but this is pretty much the first one. This is the only one that has been listed since 2021 as a 2020 liquid platinum. So as far as 2020 model year goes, this is only the third one that's been listed publicly in 2026. And really, it's not technically listed publicly. It's still at a dealer auction. So when this comes up, this will be the third for 2026 that has been publicly listed. Production statistics. So there are 152 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 that were liquid platinum, 1J2, and 90 of those had LA20 black interior. That is 3.83% of all of the US 49 production. So that's like an 8 out of 10 for rarity. It's pretty rare, but most of the liquid platinums had black interior, and so this is one of those also. So you get into the 2020 production though, 7 out of the 187 cars were liquid platinum, and of those, 5 had LA20 black interior, which is most of them. 1 had red, that's a true one of one car, and 1 had black and white interior, so that's also a one of one car. But it is rare because it's a 2020, and liquid platinum is a pretty rare color anyway, but common with the black interior. This car was made October 17th of 2019, and it has engine number 2084793. And if you want to verify that, pull the upper engine cover and look on the intake manifold, the blue intake manifold. There will be a black and white label with the number, and it should read 2084793. As far as options go, heads-up display. This has option GF. Not all the cars after 2016. So 2017 through 2020, heads-up display was optional. A lot of these cars had it. This one has it, and it has Mark Levinson, and it has the option Z2, which is a comfort and convenience package, which has a rear trunk mat, it has a cargo net, wheel locks, and it has a clear PPF piece on the top of the rear bumper, and that's it. So it's a fairly lower optioned car for a 2020. It doesn't have glass brake sensors, it doesn't have orange or blue calipers, it doesn't have the polished wheels, anything like that, but at least it has the Mark Levinson, which is what most people want in these cars when you're spending this kind of money. Carfax, Epic VIN, and auto check. So Carfax, my 2026 Carfax shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car. My 2024 Carfax also shows the same, so good to see that everything matches there. Epic VIN shows this as a 3-owner, no accident car, and I don't think that's correct. AutoCheck shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car. So I think this is a 4-owner, no accident. It is a Texas and North Carolina, or North Carolina and Texas car pretty much its whole life. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale in November of 2019 in North Carolina, and it sold in February of 2020. So like 2 to 3 months for sale, and it was leased to the original owner in North Carolina. January of 2021, North Carolina L certified, and it sold with 3,500 miles in about 2 weeks. So pretty quick there. So I guess that person didn't like it because then it popped up for sale just a couple months later, March of 2021 in Georgia for $72,000 with 4,300 miles. And then I guess it didn't sell, and it went to Texas, and it was for sale for $79,500, so almost $80,000 with 5,000 miles. Didn't sell there, so then it was sent to auction, and then it was listed at an Infinity dealer in Houston, Texas in July of 2021. And then it went, looks like, to another dealer in Houston in October of 2021, and it finally sold, but it wasn't registered until almost 6 months later in April of 2022. So a lot went on right there, shuffling around between auctions and dealers, and but it's not CarMax or Carvana either. So that's normal if you see CarMax or Carvana in the picture. It kind of moves around a lot, but kind of unusual there, but probably came down to somebody was in it probably too much and tried to recover, you know, get $70,000, $80,000 for it back then when these cars had already been depreciating, didn't start going back up until summer of 2024. So then July of 2023 in Texas, $73,000 with 18,000 miles, and it sold in a couple of weeks to a buyer in Texas. And now here it is, mid-June 2026, sold at Manheim, Dallas with 33,000 miles for $63,000 plus fees wholesale. So now into the photos. The photos are pretty typical of wholesale dealer auction photos, so they're not extremely high resolution, but you can definitely tell it needs brakes. It's got lips on all of the rotors, so this thing's probably got the original brakes on it. 33,000 miles, that's about the end of the life for the brakes, so probably needs brakes. I do see a little bit of curb rash on the wheels, and the rear tires look okay, but they're not the Pilot Super Sports, they're the Pilot Sport 4Ss, so the tires have probably been replaced at least once. The exterior looks pretty good, except for a little bit of damage on the right front bumper, kind of on the bottom edge and right near the bottom. The interior photos, again, pretty low resolution, but I don't see any carbon fiber trim delamination, and it looks good. It looks like what a 30,000 mile car should look like, so I don't see any issues there. But when, of course, it comes up for sale, there should be some better photos, higher quality, higher resolution photos. So as far as the price goes, retail price, I would expect the first number in this car is probably gonna have a 7 in it. And if not, high 60s, like 68, 69, 70, 71,000. That's where I would expect to see this for sale. Maybe higher than that, who knows? This market has been crazy. We've seen 2016 selling for 68,000, 71,000. So this car, you know, I'm pretty confident that it's going to have a 7 as the first digit when it pops up for sale. 2020s are sought after. It's the final model year. It's the second lowest production year, and it already has all of the kinks worked out of it. So it doesn't have the low pressure fuel pump buzz. It doesn't have, you know, some of the other things that were affected, the GPS location. So you don't have to worry about any of that. It just has the carbon fiber delamination, the front lower control arm bushings, the carbon fiber trim, you know, the valley plate, the usual things that you have on these cars. At the end of the day, it is a low mile, clean title, Southern car, and it's a 2020. So it's desirable and it's gonna sell quick. These 2020s do not sit around long. There's always buyers for 2020s at almost any price point. Now into the service history. So I would call this pretty well dealer serviced. It's got a couple other non-dealer services on it, which is not a big deal, but it's mostly just oil changes. And so the first entry of note is actually when it was sold certified pre-owned. It was January of 2021 at 3,500 miles, certified pre-owned prep. And November of 2024, 25,500 miles, coolant flush, and transmission service. So that's two more common things that are already out of the way on this car. So good to see that. On Carfax, there's a couple quick oil change places, and that's really it. It probably just needs an oil change would be my guess. Things that are not done, definitely looks like it's gonna need brakes. Check out the front tires. The rear tires look like they're decent. It's really too new to expect any valley plate issues yet, but expected in the coming years that you'll have to address that. But yeah, I would say it doesn't need a whole lot service-wise other than brakes, maybe tires. That's about it. That brings me to, would I buy this car? Absolutely. As long as it's not too incredibly overpriced. You know, if it comes up with like an 8 in the first digit, then yeah, it's a little expensive. But I would say in the upper 60s, lower 70s, it's a fair buy at that point. Any higher than that, you're probably gonna pay too much over market. But again, there's a extremely high demand for them. So probably there's people willing to pay more than that to get a car like this. It's a rare car, clean title, no accident, great looking example. And so I do think it will sell pretty quick. So that's what I've got for you guys, VIN 3076. Make sure you keep a watch out for this one when it pops up, and it will probably be gone very quickly. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.